Hello and welcome everyone. In this part we are taking apart the fuel taps because the fuel taps are ugly. They are leaking and as you see already, I'm taking them out of the tank and you see already a part missing. That's a nice start of the story here. So let's start with the disassembly of the fuel taps, and here it's easy because they are already made once, and as you see now there is a horrible mess inside there. All the gaskets, well, the main gasket where you can switch between the fuel taps is torn, and in a bad way. That's, well, as you have seen in the other parts, they were both are leaking, and I'm not sure why that happens, but I guess because of long standing and not moving them. You see they are turned and twisted in such a way that they broke, and that's kind of strange to me, but yeah, we'll fix that. Yeah, the second one doesn't even look that much better. Still, I have the feeling that they sat for a long time on the same position, and yeah, well, they glued themselves to the surface of the fuel tap, of the lever, and yeah, it's a mess. There are parts already inside of the fuel tap. And it's quite, well, astonishing that it's made 4 years ago. I have the invoice of the company who repaired the fuel taps, and yeah, well, quite astonishing that they lasted so. Yeah, I don't know how to say that they lasted so less time than they should, because original Yamaha parts do usually last longer. You see me here poking around to get the final thing out of the tap, and it was really deep in there because the whole seal broke. I don't know how that can happen, and if they fueled it wrong or put wrong, I don't know. Some additives, I have no idea. That's the part, and it's quite broken. Yeah, moving on, I was looking at the parts and I thought to myself, well, do you actually want to put them back in like they look? I mean, they look old, they look used, they look aged, and there is so much rust or corrosion, and well, that all doesn't look that nice to me. So I thought maybe if I look at all of that, well, we have to do something against that. They all look the same, but from the inside they very well be old, you know, like they are old now, and we have to do something about that, because the next time the bike stands for a month or two, I don't want to have the seal broken again. So I decided, well, I'm not a perfectionist, but rather there, and I wanted to have shiny new fuel taps, and that's what we are going to do. We will get shiny new fuel taps, and for that the first thing we need to do is to have some kind of abrasive to, well, get rid of all the stains and corrosion on the front, and here we will do that. We start with a light abrasive, that's the yellow one, and polish. What means polish? Well, take away the dirt which is on there. And it took me a lot of time. As you see, it's sped up all the things here so that you don't have to bear all the time with me to look at how long it took me to actually get them to a point where I would say, yeah, that's acceptable, that's new. So I change to a more abrasive brush for the cleaning of all of that, for the polishing. Yeah, here you see a small preview of what will it look like when it's finished. Very nice. I like it, but it's quite not yet as shiny as I want it to be. So I move on. Took some polish and polished the hell out of that part. Because it's the one you see. You know where on off is written on there and reserve. So I took the Dremel and polished it and polished it and polished it and polished it some more after that. When I polished it all and I thought I was done, I rubbed it with a towel because of the rest of the polishing paste that I can get rid of. You know, you see it's black on the towel, so it takes the paste off. Here you see how it looks even better now, and I very much like that. But there is still some spots I found, and then we have to polish some more. And the reason, as usual, why you do not hear me polishing it like the sounds which the machine does is because of, first of all, I was jamming to some really loud music. And the second is, if I'm not jamming to the loud music, I need to hear the street or the neighbors or a combination of that, and I don't want that. So I lower the volume and voice over it with some nice elevator music just for you to be at ease, to not hear what I hear when I'm in the garage, because it's really unpleasant sometimes. But the music was good, I can tell you that. I polished some more and polished and polished and polished, so that now both of them are at least to a degree polished where I can say, okay, that looks like, yeah, acceptable. Not perfect, because if I wanted to do it perfect, I would stand there 2 days to do that. Then I thought to myself, now I polished the front facing panel. Why not polish everything? Because the surface where the gasket is connected also needs to be polished, because otherwise you would have the same effect again when you have small cavities where the rubber bonds itself to the metal. Well, that's not for me. I want to have it not perfect, but in a sense of perfect. You know, 90%, 95%, well, 98%. But still, yeah, you see the handle or the lever is polished now, and I move on to the next part. Yeah, and that's where it becomes really not frustrating, but time consuming. If you look inside that fuel tap, there is not much going on. It's just some metal with holes, and well, it's dirty. It has gunk in it. I don't know how to call that, but it's some, like when you put sugar in a pan and heat it to a certain degree, you get caramel, and it looks like there's caramel in there. Then I first tried with a Q-tip, and then I took the bronze brush, and I'm just not, I could brush it all day and wouldn't get any measurable results. So I thought about that, and then I took the metal brush, the bronze brush, put it in my drill, and as you see now, there are some results. And wow, that makes a difference to have a Powerdrill do this job. You know, it looks fantastic. It's just, it's like a baby skin how that looks like. I really love it. Then I start, well, I have done everything else inside, so now I need to the outside. I need to go to the outside because of all the surfaces which get touched with the gaskets. And you know, if a gasket touches a surface, it should be straight, it should be clean, and yeah, that's anything else than clean. I clean the whole thing because it's just so dirty and corroded and whatnot. There is gunk on the ceiling surfaces. I cannot live with that because I know I have to do it 3-4 times to get the surfaces for the ceilings to sealants, gaskets to work. That's, yeah, it took me a long time to do that, and of course I speed the process up because nobody wants to watch that. You see, I cleaned all, I looked for the little specks that are there and I cleaned them all up so that I have a smooth surface to put the gasket. Ah, here they are. One happy fuel tap and one unhappy fuel tap. We gotta change that, and we do that with time warping in this video. Bam! Both are done. Yeah, well, it took me another half an hour to do that, but you don't see that. That's okay. It's just boring work, but I like to do that to, it's like zen, you know, to keep my mind at ease. And here, fortunately, I found another fuel tap where it's complete and I can take out the reserve filter to put back in there. So that now actually it's a complete set of fuel taps. Complete as in originally complete. Here we have what you need to know about that. That are TourMax spare parts. And I recommend you to buy only TourMax for your Yamaha bike because they have the most, how is it called, reliable parts. I tried other things. I tried to buy some from China, these made in Japan, and they are just working. They are OEM and not OEM, but like OEM. So I spray them with ballistol. That's a kind of care oil which has no additives to it, so it just makes it more smooth for the gaskets to grind on or ride on the metal walls. Carefully I insert the gaskets where the lever needs to go, and I try to do that with much care. I don't know if that's needed, but yeah, well, that's who I am. And I check if they fit. If you press them down a little bit, you hear a nice, or you feel a nice set in place where they just fit in there and it's a nice fit. And I like that. Then we screw them back together, and you gotta make sure that you do not screw the first screw totally back in, but take the second one and make it step by step, one side, other side, tighten one side, tighten the other side, so that the seal and the lever sets itself very comfortably into the gasket, and everything is quite sealed then. Here you have the first fuel tap. Actually, they are left and right. The right one, no, the left one is still, you can buy them, I think like 500 euros or what, one fuel tap, and no joke. And the right one is not anymore produced. So here you have it. Both fuel taps are rebuilt, redone, restored. Nice. What you see here is me showing you the gasket which they put on there. They put a copper ring, a copper gasket on the fuel taps to fasten them to the tank, and that is not original. I guess, I don't know where they have that from to put copper gasket there, but it's actually something different which Yamaha put in there from the factory, and it's like some kind of felt and rubber, and I don't know. It's quite different. Here, as I said, I have a spare fuel tap, and you see here that you see between the screw and the fuel tap itself there is some kind of gasket. I don't know what that is, because it's like felt and rubber. I don't know how they are called, but they are there, and a copper gasket may do the trick, but I don't trust that, because you know it's a 90s bike, and a 90s bike do not have an automatic fuel tap. So I made my own seals, and I made them from a rubber gasket, which is oil and benzene and whatnot secure, so that you can actually do your gaskets yourself. That was not cheap. The whole thing would set you back 20 euros or 15, something like that. I took a drill, a 6mm drill, and drilled my holes, put the screw next to them, drilled the holes, and well, got the gasket out of that. Here you see me measuring how much it is. I know it's M6, but just for visual purposes, I show you that sometimes I do measure. And here. So I started the whole process of drilling the holes, and you see me showing you the correct size of the drill. And here we go, just taking the other screw from the TourMax kit. You get new screws, which are actually very nice, because you have a 10mm key in there and a Phillips screw, so that you can, well, tighten them to the specs. And that's just it. I drilled the hole and take scissors to round them up, and that's it. I just leave enough space so that they fit to the screw or to the bolt, and yeah, that's it. So I managed to make my own gaskets for the fuel tap. If that holds is another story, but also when I disassembled the fuel taps and put the tank away again, I heard some rattling noises in there. I am quite sure that something is still in that tank, and I'm almost sure that it's the missing filter for the reserve, the filter pipe which you have seen there. So in the next episode we will explore with an endoscope if that's true. So stay tuned. Fitting these gaskets to the bolt was easy. Screw, bolt. I don't know the difference. If somebody can clarify that to me. I just pushed them down and they're all ready. 4 of them, and that's better than factory. I know that's a phrase which is covered already by Northridge Fix, but that is better than factory for sure. Here you see me trying that out, how it looks, if the correct distance between the tank and the bolt in the tank or the screw in the tank is correct, and everything looks fine. So we actually can check if it fits to the tank like I want to. Ah, yes. Every time I see that tank, I think 25 years of neglect. I'm sorry, I cannot. It's wow. And the guy who worked on that before, it was actually a company. I have a receipt from 4 years ago, where they renewed the fuel taps. They actually went there and put. They sanded down where the gasket lives, and I cannot understand that, but still, I don't have to. I put some gasket cleaner on there again and fit the taps. They were actually fitting very well. Everything looks fine. I still have not put some benzene in there because I guess that will have to wait till I paint the tank. And you see me here scratching away some of the old gaskets and putting it all together. Yeah, looks real nice. Looks like somebody had some thoughts about these fuel taps, and they look really nice. Not like new, but almost like new. If I had a blasting machine with ice, I would have ice blasted them, dry ice blasted them. But here we are. Bye bye.